Any questions? Please put them in the comments. I can do it in a nice and tidy way. So JSON, so getting JSON out of Flask. I think the easiest way of doing it is, so you can use, so when we looked at Flask, so we had this JSON, so what you can do is just return this Python dictionary literal, and that becomes a JSON object. But I wouldn't use a template to create a JSON. That just becomes yet another layer of indirection. So it is. So yes, you can look over those slides. I will provide the slide set. Obviously, I will also have the recording. The recording will be available, so you can look at it that way. But the slides will be also available as a PDF. So that you can look at them at that time. I will also put this slide, the other slides on Python there. So I might review the slides a little bit to make them slightly more applicable to Python, but I will have the slide sets available for you. So like this is, but anyway, so yeah, so this is a way we can use JSON with our APIs. And you can also use JSONify to make it prettier. And there probably, if you click on that and go to the documentation, it will tell you more about exactly what way which particular Python structure is going to be organized and what JSON it will produce. So you just look at the API that you have been given from the assignment, and then say, okay, how can I replicate that in Python? And then add some dynamic behavior, because in this case we can say, okay, we have this list of users. So we can do something like, why not do something like set user? Let's go quickly into presentation mode. So what we can do is to do something like, okay, so we want to get this, so let's have a look. So what we need to do is say, so yes, you look at the documentation, or an example in this case, so methods equals get. We want to have another method, let's say app.root test.json, or no, so I want not this one, I just want to get it from the get username. I want to so maybe we want to be able to create create a user. So what we want to do so is users, and this one might be a method equals post. Yes, completion is really helpful there. So okay, yes, so dev create or set user, and we might want to see whether this works correctly. No, we need to get it out of the session, so we can't do this way. So what we need to do is to actually say, okay, user equals request.form, user So I don't know why it's complaining about request, because it should be available. I know it's not important from Flask, so we better import it. So there's probably also make response, for example, we might want to use, not in this particular case. So yes, it's not imported, so now it should be there. Yes, the thing, the squiggly has now gone, and name equals request or name. And what we can then do is something like, okay, if user, or we don't even need to do it, user equals name. So this will help us to update, and then we basically return, okay, return user. And yes, we might want to move this users a little bit up so that it's visible. Here, but this should work correctly. And when we run this, we should then, yeah, we have to rerun it. And then we need to basically use a little tool to actually make these requests. So let's use Advanced REST Client. Okay, yes, there it is. It is loading. Yes, I was playing around with something else. So in this case, we just need to go, not that. You can make your all complicated requests. In this case, we don't need that here. Why is it going import? No, so let's just do HTTP //localhost 5000 /users / So when we do this, we can just use a get, and then we should be able to get some data. This is our data. We wanted to have the users, we want to post a new, so let me look at what is there. So let's look at Jane. Jane doesn't exist, so here we get the 404. But what if we want to have a Jane that actually does exist? So we can make it a post. We should be able to now go to without there, and what we should be able to do then is to have some properties, add a form parameter, and it was user Jane and you name, so Jane Doe. Then when we send this, we should be able to get back. Okay, it returns. Okay, yes. It doesn't return our nice JSON, but it just returns our username as we set it. What we now need to be able to be able to go back to the to the history, uses get, and then get Jane Doe, and no longer do we get an error. So this is how you can use some state. For your assignment, you do not need to persist your user data. You're allowed to, but you do not need to. So that's kind of the story of your user data. You do not need to persist it. of course, it will give you. It is kind of an additional extra feature, but and I might look after the Easter break a little bit about how to do this in the Flask way, but because the slides are a little bit less time consuming than I thought it was, so this way I look at it today. But the main purpose is there: how can we support you for your assignment? So finally, I would say, please ask questions. We will be sort of around over the Easter period. We'll be having some breaks, but put questions in the virtual P201. If we can see if we can have new people, more people available if there's actually more demand for that. But do get started. Play around. If you get stuck, don't stay stuck. Ask questions in working hours. Use Piazza, use Teams, whatever you find works the best. And otherwise, if there's no any other questions, Okay, then I'll thank you, and I'll see you after Easter, hopefully in person. Okay, thank you very much.